Genevieve from the Cupcake Orchard in Orchard Park, and you're making a very kind of special pink lemonade cupcake this morning.
It's a new flavor that we're launching in our shop May 1st. So,
is this going to be part of an event you're taking part in?
Yes, it's actually going to be part of 2 events that we're doing. So the first one is for the Cupcakes and Pearls event, which you are involved with, for the Boys and Girls Club, which is next Thursday. So we'll have samples of that flavor. And we're also doing a partnership with the Susan G. Komen of Western New York for their Survivors Luncheon, which is May 12th. So we'll be selling it in the shop from May 1st to May 12th, and half of the proceeds will be going to the luncheon as well.
Hence the pink. Is that
correct?
The pink lemonade?
Yep, that's the pink lemonade, and those are 3 of our flavors for the month of April.
What made you think of doing a pink lemonade cupcake?
It just sounded fun. You know, our lemon cupcake is a big seller. Our lemon raspberry, people seem to like, you know, people that don't want the real rich chocolate, they like the fruity. And who doesn't like a nice pink lemonade in the summer, you know? It's a fun flavor.
That's exactly what it does. It evokes just kind of like happy summer feelings, but also just you think of it as tasty, sweet.
Yeah. So it's simple.
Excellent. Give folks a rundown of what they need to get together.
So it's your basic stuff for like a vanilla cupcake. So you've got your flour and baking powder and salt, which you want to just sift together, all your dry ingredients. 2 eggs, a little bit of sugar, some butter at room temperature, so you can whip that up easily. A cup of whole milk. Vanilla, you want to make sure you get some good quality vanilla.
Does that make a difference?
It does.
If you get the artificial?
Yeah, it's just not the same. You know, you get that artificial taste. You know, you can definitely notice the difference when you use a good quality vanilla. So, and then the pink lemonade is very simple. It's just the, you know, the frozen pink lemonade concentrate. You just thaw that, and you just use that liquid. We'll use that in both the batter and in the frosting.
Even looking at that, I think,
just take
yummy.
a sip of that.
I do. I'd like to right now. Wake me up. All right, Genevieve, thank you. When we get come to our next segment, we'll start getting this ready.
Sounds great.
Right now, we are in the kitchen with Genevieve from the Cupcake Orchard, and we're making some delicious pink lemonade cupcakes. Seen right there, they're the pink ones.
Yep.
And you have already started with the butter.
The butter, yep. Just whipping up the butter, and then you're going to add to the butter, you're going to add in the sugar. And the easy thing to do when you're cooking or baking anything, I think, is just to set out your ingredients first. You know, get everything measured out, so then it's easy. You can just take the steps. You know, you're not stopping and starting, and especially with baking, you don't want to overmix at any stage, and so you want to make sure everything's ready to go, and you can just
And measuring is important with baking, which I've learned the hard way.
You want to be precise, yeah.
You know, you add a little bit too much thinking, you know what you're doing, and it's gone.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
so as your butter's creamy, you're just going to add this is like 1 1/4 cup of sugar.
What if you don't have a mixer?
I mean, you can do it by hand. You know, I mean,
it's
just going to take a while. I mean, it's just, you just really have to work it, you know. It doesn't do it for you like this one does, you know.
And because with the butter, that's, I think, the hardest part of whipping it.
You need to get it really creamy.
Can you put it in the microwave just for a little bit?
No.
Would that ruin it?
That would ruin it, yeah. It's like soup.
I've done that. Done that.
So again, it's another thing, you know, baking takes time. It's not something you can rush. So if you know you're going to bake, you need to set your ingredients out. Even your eggs, your milk, your butter, you want to set them out for at least a half an hour so that they're at room temperature. It will help them all to incorporate better, yeah. So, you know, because you put really cold milk in with your butter, it'll kind of shock the butter. So you want to keep everything at room temperature, at least half an hour, keep it out.
I always thought ingredients didn't have feelings. And really, I was rushing all the time, so I violated every rule of baking. Okay, so we still have our long segment back. You're going to continue on with that.
Yep, continue on with that.
When we come back, we're going to add everything together, toss it in the oven, and then
frosting.
try.
Yes, and sample.
Listen, I gave blood so that I could try them this morning. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to bring... Okay, let's move on. We're going to just segue right into that with cupcakes today. We are with Genevieve from Cupcake Orchard. We're going to continue on. You've been mixing up the butter and the sugar.
Yep, we got the butter, the sugar, and then we add the eggs 1 at a time.
So if you dump it all in, that's bad too?
Not good, yeah. Victoria, we're going to have to do
a
private lesson.
3 right now. I'll just come and buy. Vanilla?
Yep, we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla in there, so that's just mixing up until that's all creamy.
Okay.
And then we're going to start with your flour and milk. So the flour, we've kind of sifted together the baking powder, the salt, and the flour. If you don't have a sifter, just put it together and just kind of work it together with your hands just to get the baking powder and the salt incorporated through the flour. Make sure there's no lumps in your flour.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to have the mixer on low. So this is the point where you want to make sure everything is mixed in here. You're going to add this slow and not overmix your batter at this point.
Violation number 4.
So
really
just mixing it at a high speed with the sugar and butter, it's kind of creating like air bubbles, air pockets in there.
And it'll make it
yeah, so make it a dense cupcake if you overmix at this point.
I should know that.
So you want to add it in stages. So you want to add a little bit of your flour. You want to do 3 steps. You're going to add a little bit of your flour and let that mix together. And then you're going to add a little bit of the milk, flour. You're going to start and end with your flour.
Oh, so you don't do all the liquids at once and then all the...
Yep,
Okay.
gradually.
Why do you do that?
It's just so that, again, you don't want it to clump. So you don't, if you put all that flour in there, we just get this big blob.
Even if you're doing it by hand, you should do the same thing?
Do the same thing, yep. And let each portion incorporate before you go to the next step. Again, baking it takes time. It's not to be rushed.
That's in other words, Vic, stay away. How do you know if you've over mixed it?
Visually it won't be. Your taste is when you would know.
That's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. So once that's mixed, you just want to make sure that you take the time to scrape down your bowl a little bit. Just get all the flour in there.
And at this point, we add a little bit of milk.
And then you can add a little bit of your milk. So, whole milk is good to use in baking. I know it's the fatty one, but I mean, you're having dessert, so.
And it's a cup?
It's a cup, yep. Okay. So we'll add about half of that.
And if that's what you're worried about in eating a cupcake, maybe you shouldn't.
You shouldn't, I mean, you're going to indulge in a treat.
Why not just do it in a good one, right?
You need to have whole milk for it. And again, room temperature, just let it out for like half an hour, so that's not too cold with that butter.
Now, these are the cupcakes you're going to be using as part of the Cupcakes and Pearls and Cupcakes with the Boys and Girls Club, as well as the Susan Komen
Luncheon.
Luncheon.
That's Mother's Day weekend with a pink lemonade. So we'll have those for sale at the shop May 1st to the 12th. The pink lemonade, that'll be a 2-week promotion, and half of those proceeds will go to the luncheon for Susan G. Komen, the Survivors Luncheon. And then the other cupcakes that are featured there are 3 of our flavors for April.
What are they?
We have chocolate mocha, that's lemon raspberry, and this is a chocolate chip cookie dough. The center of that cupcake is actually filled with cookie dough. And then
raw
baked.
Cookie dough?
Mm-hmm. And then it's baked.
Oh,
we
so
fill
it's like
it
a
with,
cookie inside.
We make chocolate chip cookie dough and then bake it. And it's like a brown sugar buttercream. It tastes just like cookie dough. It's yummy.
All right, I might have 3 of these this morning.
Except it has been cooked, so you can eat it, safely eat it.
We've got just under 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Maybe we should take folks to the next step.
Sure, so after that point, you would just scoop it into your tin.
Okay.
About an ice cream scoop is a great tool to have. Yeah, so it's about that size, so about 3/4 of a cup in there. And you'll bake it at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
And you want to rotate it halfway through just so that it cooks evenly as your air circulates through your oven. Sometimes if the batter is light, it can kind of get a little wave to it, so your cupcakes
So you
mount
spin it
perfectly.
around.
Just turn it once, just 180.
Now, I heard, though, that if you jostle it too much, any kind of baking, it'll sink it?
It'll sink, but you're not going to
You just spin it.
just spin it one time. Yep, 180
Mistake
degrees.
number 5.
So, and then when they're done, you'll know they're done, and you can either do the toothpick test or just kind of touch the top of it, and we'll just kind of spring back.
All right. And then,
oh,
look at this, frosting. Look at this. This is the most hot color this season for a dress.
And then you can find this recipe on the website as well. So this is just a basic vanilla buttercream that we added, again, some of the pink lemonade concentrate to it. So it's got that tang of pink.
Just my last question.
Yeah.
And when you're adding this, when do you add the pink lemonade?
At the end.
At the end?
Yep, once you've
all
everything incorporated all at once. Yep, just dump that in
and
there.
just a few spins.
A few spins until it's just incorporated, and then you can scoop.
For our second, we're going to frost these up and then try it in the second helping.
Sure.
And then do whatever else you're going to do for the second helping.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, I have to say, the pink lemonade cupcake is, quoting my co-anchor, Joe Arena, it's like sunshine in your mouth. It is delicious. So if you want to go from here, if you have a few left over, you can make
a cake pop.
A cake pop.
Yep.
Very easy. What do you do?
So you would just take your fully assembled cupcake and put it in a bowl and just mush it all together.
Frosting and the cupcake.
Frosting and cake, and just crumble it all together, and then you're just going to roll them into a ball shape, similar to like making a meatball. And you'll just chill them in the fridge for about an hour. You can throw them in the freezer for 15 minutes, and then you'll just melt a little bit of white chocolate, milk chocolate, whatever you want.
Before you do it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And then you'll take a candy making stick, and you can dip it in chocolate, and then stick it into the ball that you've made, and chill it again. That'll help the stick from staying on. A lot of people just put the stick right in there without a little bit of chocolate, and that helps keep it together.
Okay.
So, and then all you're going to do is just kind of melt it, or dip it here in the melted chocolate.
You're like a double boiler, right?
Yep, and you just kind of give it a spin. And then an easy way to let them dry is you just pick up one of these foam blocks at a craft store. Because a lot of people get them dipped, and then what do? Hold it until it dries, hold it until it chills. And then you can decorate it any way you want. We did some with another different color melted chocolate with some sprinkles. You can get candy pearls.
If you are having a shower, this is perfect because it looks very elegant.
They are great. They're a great little favor gift. You can have at everybody's place setting for a shower or a wedding. You put a little tag on there, thanks for sharing our day. So they're a great idea.
And then you just
and delicious.
eat it. All right. I'll throw that all in my mouth. Very indelicate move there. I'm going to invite all my friends up. You got to try this one, the pink lemonade, delicious.
Those are so gorgeous.
Dan, our production guy in here, he took a look at that, and didn't he nearly swoon?
He did, yes, he did. I thought he saw a hot girl coming in.
Me too. Right now, and a hot cupcake. Genevieve from Cupcake Orchard, thanks again for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'll see
Thank
you
you.
at the Cupcakes and Pearls Boys and Girls event.